Okay, so I want to show you how to make a ring or pendant without using any ice resin or Envirotex. It will make the project a lot simpler, and so I just wanted to show you that really quick. So here I have drawn my circle. I used a circle template that matches my ring, and then I drew it onto sticker paper. I painted my circle using a little bit of iridescent white paint this time, and then I drew in my face just using a regular drawing pencil and a tiny bit of acrylic and a fine detail brush like this. Okay, so similar to how I did the last project. And now I'm going to go ahead, if you recall, I drew my circle, my moon face, close to the edge of the sticker paper. Again, it does not have to be sticker paper, but it just makes things a little bit simpler. I'm removing that border so that my circle cutter, which happens to match perfectly, it's a 1-inch circle cutter, I can just slide my image right in there and line it up. Well, at least I think so. I guess I should trim the rest of this off. So I'm going to just punch that out. Okay, and if you have any lines that you don't want showing, you can just, because it punched it out and I still have a little bit of pencil lines, I'm going to go in there with a little bit of white gesso or a little bit more of my white paint, and I'm going to touch that up because I don't want those pencil lines showing. Okay, and now for the tricky part, and that is to get the sticker paper off of the back. So this will probably be the longest part of your project, especially if you have no nails like me. So I might have to actually get an X-Acto knife and try to get that off. Either that or just be determined and persevere, because of course I don't have an X-Acto knife on my table. Oh, I see the edge coming off. Victory! And it did kind of squish up my face a little bit, but I should be able to work that out. Okay, now I'm going to get my ring blank, and I think I told you in the last video that the ring blanks, usually you can order them with a glass piece to go inside there too. So I'll make sure to provide the links for you to find some, but you can also just search online for ring blanks, and I know they have a lot available on Etsy. And I'm going to go ahead and put my moon face right in the bottom there, and then I'm going to make sure that it's nice and flush. And you can you know, take something like a little tool, just anything that you have. You want to make sure, of course, that it's clean, but then you might want to go around and make sure that it's pushed down and really stuck to the bottom of your bezel. And then you can also, you know, just hold this over and make sure that it looks good. You want to make sure that this is clean and that there's no dust or little bits of hairs or lint down inside there. And you want to make sure that this is really clean. My fingers are dirty, so I'm going to go ahead and use a glass wipe, I think. Well, I was going to use a glass wipe. How about a baby wipe? A baby wipe will work. I don't have any glass wipes. They must be with my X-Acto blades. But I'm going to use a baby wipe and make sure that's nice and clean. And then take a paper towel and make sure it's good and dry and clean. Okay? So, and then I'm not going to touch it with my dirty fingers. Now, the next step will be to take something like this Dimensional Magic, or you can use Diamond Glaze. I know, you know, whatever product that you're comfortable using. And then I'm just going to go ahead and squeeze some in here and give it a nice, you know, generous, but not, I don't want to fill this thing up. I just want to put a thin coating across the whole surface of my artwork and go all the way to the edges. And I'm using the nozzle to kind of just guide some of the product down into the corners. I just want a full even coverage, and I want to kind of get those corners, but I don't want to fill this up, okay? I don't want to fill the bezel up. I'm just doing that. And now I will take my glass piece and drop it right in there. And then you're gonna see like some little air bubbles, and you'll see where the product is not exactly making contact with the glass. So I'm just gonna give that a nice push. And I wanna make sure that it goes all the way around, but I don't want it squishing up over the edges. So you just kind of play with it a little bit and make sure. And then as it dry, you know, you want this to set up probably overnight, but you're going to want to just check back, you know, maybe, the first 20 minutes, I would say. Just keep checking, because you don't want any air bubbles down in there. So you might have to go and give it a good squeeze, a good push, squeezing out some of those air bubbles. And if some of the product starts to ooze out the sides, that's okay, because you can always, of course, just wipe that off. And it's really neat because the glass actually magnifies the face. So that's pretty much it. I'm done. I'm just, like I said, I'm going to watch over it over the next hour, making sure no air bubbles got down in there. And if they did, I'll just give it another squeeze, and it'll be all dry and set up by tomorrow morning. I love it, don't you? Can't wait to wear it. And this would work also, of course, for earrings or for a pendant. Have a lot of fun, and see you in the next video.